Today about the issue of bullying. Asher Brown was 13 years old. He killed himself at home. The family believes that he actually killed himself because of the bullying that he endured in school. The question is, has bullying gone too far? What exactly is bullying, and are we paying close enough attention to an issue that is actually coming center stage? Our guests here tonight in studio, two very special guests. We're pleased to have Alan Paul Weaver II. He is the author of Speedsuit Powers. It's a book that actually talks about bullying and dealing with bullying. And also, we're pleased also to have Coach once again back on the show. And Coach, good to have you once again. And Coach deals with a variety of topics, talking about manhood and trying to get yourself and your life in order, fathers taking responsibility for their children, and also what we can do to raise up strong, healthy African-American, and not just African-American, but males in general. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Alan, I was teasing you before the break because I said, you know, your book should be taken off now because it talks a lot about the issue of bullying.
Yes.
And something that maybe people weren't paying too close attention to until weeks prior. And we know the story of the Rutgers University student. We talked about the 13-year-old here. But it seems as though bullying is becoming a more widespread epidemic and one that's gaining more and more national attention.
That's true. I mean, it almost seems like everywhere you look, there's an incident that's capturing the media's attention. Anderson Cooper 360 just did a special this past week. Dr. Phil's been talking about it. There's just been a lot of news coverage. And it is an epidemic. And I think that it's different from the way bullying was when we were younger. It just, you weren't hearing about kids actually taking it to the level of taking their own lives. You found a way to deal with it, but it seems that with all of the increase in exposure, the connectivity with the internet and cyberbullying and things like that, that kids are having to deal with adult situations and the pressures, and they're being locked up, you know, mentally just inside of them, and to the point where they're exploding. And in many of the cases that we've heard about, they're imploding on themselves.
Coach, talk to us a little bit about, from the perspective of a young man, you know, the impact of bullying. We've talked about some of the things that, you know, the over-the-top response is when one takes his or her own life. And but the truth is that even though one might take his or her own life, there's a whole lot of other ramifications that come as a result of bullying that don't even end in death.
Very true. Young men and women these days have, and as my colleague was mentioning, lack of coping skills. They seem to be short on the self-respect and I'm my own person. I don't really care what anybody says. And when you lack that in your personality, it's easy for you to succumb to bullying. As you said before, bullying's been around since the dawn of man. There's always been those who try to pick on a weaker being, someone who they feel for some reason they can get away with. But at this point, because of the way life is, as my colleague was mentioning, internet, television, the whole thing, young men and women seem not to be able to deal with it like before because they don't have somebody that's in there teaching them, I don't really care what anybody says to you. You stick up for yours and you be you. And without that being there, here we go.
Coach Lynn is, you know, we know his show called Dare to Dream, but when you talk about bullying, I want to talk about that dream component. It's hard to have a dream.
It is.
When you're being bullied around. It's hard to actually want to go from day to day and actually just get up in the morning and go to school. In your book, share a little bit about the bullying that went on in your book.
Okay, well, Speedsuit Powers is about a 14-year-old boy who moves from the suburbs of New Jersey, to the South Bronx, and he's navigating a new school at a new neighborhood, and there's a school bully who is just determined to make his life miserable. And, you know, he's the only kid in 9th grade who's taking physics, so he's somewhat of a child prodigy, but at the same time he's struggling with the same issues that teens are struggling with, how your clothes are, what other people think about you, you know, all of those things. What do you want to do with your life? So in the process, he's also dealing with the loss of his father, because his father died. And so in the process of dealing with all of that, now you have this bully whose name is Trayshawn, on his case and just every day, you know, extorting money from him, beating him up, just really, you know, chasing him down. And it's really causing, wreaking havoc within Curtis, that's the main character, within himself. So he has to figure out what is he going to do about it. One of the differences is that even though Curtis doesn't talk to his mother up front about the situation, he does speak to someone. You know, he has his older brother, he has his best friend Kelly, he has his physics teacher. So there are people around him who are there to help him as he needs to make these daily decisions. And that's one of the differences that we see with a lot of the bullying that's going on right now, that the person being bullied, they are like I said, they're locked up. They're not talking with the people who can help them, and so they're struggling on their own and they can't cope.
Talk about can't cope. I mean, it's hard, Coach Lynn. I mean, you deal with kids on a day-to-day basis, and you deal with young men, and you know that these young men sometimes are not so quick to open up. They don't want to open up, and especially with regards to bullying, because if I admit that I'm being bullied and I'm a man, I'm a punk.
Exactly, makes you seem weaker. They have no one to talk to. Many feel that not just someone to talk to, but someone that could do something about it. And it starts at an early age. You know, we've talked many times about the importance of parents getting involved, particularly their fathers. Now we see that when a father takes their kids to school, he's doing more than just getting to know his child. He's letting the neighborhood know, I got this one's back.
Right.
He's not by himself.
Right.
And the bullies see that. And they tend to shy away from those who they know their father. If I have to come up to the school, it's going to be a problem, and not for my son or daughter. But we're lacking that, and as he was mentioning, then that scenario sounds so true, so real, particularly here in the South Bronx. However, we have to do something about it. The bullying is just getting out of control now, and our kids, we're not going to have it. Those bullies who are out there doing that, trying to make a name for themselves and trying to get some type of respect the wrong way, they need some help, but it ain't going to happen.
Some people feel that bullying is a harmless act that builds character. You say what?
Well, the difference between bullying is about power, it's about control, it's about contempt, where you have an utter disregard for the other person, and all you want to do is just tear them down. That doesn't sound like character building to me. One of the main differences, you think of teasing versus taunting. And teasing is done amongst equals, amongst peers, amongst friends. You know, you tease, you make jokes, you may crack on each other's shoes or whatever. But then once, if the other person feels like, hey, you've taken it too far, then it stops. Hey, you know, we're playing around. Taunting, on the other hand, is all about tearing the person down, making, whether you're making comments or you're getting other people involved, your purpose is to tear them down, to make them feel inferior. So that's one of the differences. And then with bullying, you know, it can be physical. You can actually be putting your hands on somebody. It can be psychological. You can be isolating that person, telling all your friends, don't talk to him, don't talk to her, because of what they did. And now, just psychologically, you've isolated that person. You could be spreading rumors about that person that isn't true. But in the age of the internet and of texting, all it takes is, you know, one text to all of your friends in your address book, one blog or you know, whatever on Facebook or MySpace or any social networking, and you know, now everyone knows about it.
You touched on something, because I think kids are also dealing with a totally different component. I think when we went to school, you know, the internet wasn't, you know, it wasn't out there like that, and you know, and I oftentimes was, you know, try to talk to some, you know, some adults and share with them. I said to them, I said, you know, one thing you have to also keep in mind is that, you know, kids are facing some rough things that they've never ever faced before. If you had a problem when you were younger, we might not know about your business because the internet wasn't out. One problem, one incident, you can immediately be on YouTube, you can immediately be on a social networking site. How much more of a psychological effect, Coach Lynn, do you feel that plays into the lives of young people?
Well, it has a devastating effect on those who are weak of spirit and weak of mind. When you're so worried about what other people think, and you are really just by yourself, even in your own mind, that internet, that Facebook, and anything being said in a negative fashion can really put you in a deep hole, hard to come out of, because you feel like the whole world sees it. And kids are kids. You know, a situation is blown up to the 9th degree just in regular life, let alone something like that where somebody's intimidating you maliciously. Parents, once again, and we're going to keep coming back to that, I know you're going to speak on it later, have something to do with that. Monitoring what the kids are doing on the internet, letting them know that it is what it is. It's not your life. What people say about you, regardless, does not necessarily mean that is you.